Okay guys, today we're going to read Henry and Mudge and the Long Weekend. Story by Cynthia Rylant and pictures by Susie Stevenson. And if you remember earlier in the school year, we read Henry and Mudge books in our Journeys textbooks. Also, Miss D'Onofrio, our beautiful librarian, has a whole Henry and Mudge series. So go back there, find these books, read them, and I believe there's AR tests on them. In fact, I'm almost certain there is. I just don't know how much they are or what the points are, but I can help you with that when the time comes. Alright, for now, let's figure out what Henry and Mudge are going to do on a long weekend. There's a table of contents. Wet Yuck is on page 5. Bored is on page 9. The Idea is on page 14. Down in the Basement is on 19. And then A Great Weekend is on page 31. Alright, let's start with Wet Yuck. Henry and Henry's big dog Mudge woke up one Saturday in February and looked outside. Yuck, said Henry. It was gray, it was cold, it was muddy and wet. No sun, Henry said. No snow, just yuck, wet yuck. Mudge leaned against Henry and drooled. What are we going to do all weekend? Henry asked. Mudge leaned harder. How will we have some fun? Henry grumbled. Mudge leaned harder. Still. What a boring weekend, Henry growled. Mudge let go and leaned all the way. Whoa! Henry yelled. Mudge flattened Henry like a pancake. How are we going to get up? Henry wondered. Look at this picture. What do you think is happening in this picture? Henry and Mudge had a boring breakfast. They watched some boring cartoons and they listened to Henry's father tell some boring jokes. Boy, this is boring, said Henry. What are we going to do? He asked. Mudge knew what to do. Mudge always knew what to do if there was nothing interesting to eat. Nothing interesting to smell and nothing interesting to chew. He went to sleep. No, Mudge, said Henry, giving him a push. Wake up. Mudge sat up. He wanted to stay awake. He tried to stay awake, but everything was so boring that he couldn't. His eyes kept closing. His head kept nodding. His mouth kept drooling. Exciting dog you have there, said Henry's father. He's bored, said Henry. Mudge is bored. I'm bored. Wait, is this boring? Henry's father frowned. February cranks, he asked. Henry nodded. Winter grumpies? Henry nodded again. Pre-spring meanies? Okay, Dad, okay, Henry said. Boy, are you bored, said Henry's father. The three of them sat. Their eyes kept closing. Their heads kept nodding. And one of their mouths kept drooling. Henry's mother saw them. Goodness, she said. This is going to be a long weekend. Then she had an idea. And now we're on the idea. I have an idea, Henry's mother said. Henry opened his eyes. Henry's father sat up, but Mudge kept on sleeping. He didn't much care about the ideas, not until the ideas smelled like something. Let's make a castle, said Henry's mother. A castle, said Henry and Henry's father. We still have the box the new refrigerator came in, and the box the new stove came in. Henry was getting the idea. And that paint, said Uncle Arthur gave me, said Henry. Oh, look, she's trying to wake him up. Let's do it. They headed for the basement. Mudge was still trying to sleep, but when he heard voices in the basement, he woke up fast. Mudge loved the basement. It had millions of new smells. It had lots of places to hide, and some of his old dog toys were down there. "Come on, Mudge," Henry called, but Mudge was already on his way. Oh, see, they're in the boxes. Oh. What's Mudge doing? Down in the basement. It was hard to have turrets, Henry's father said, and a drawbridge, and buttresses, and flags. "Dad," said Henry, "it's just a refrigerator box." "Not for long," said Henry's father. Henry ran upstairs for his castle book. Henry's mother ran upstairs for pencils. Henry's father ran upstairs for a stapler, and Mudge ran upstairs for a quick snack. They all looked at each other in the kitchen. "How do we all get up here again?" asked Henry's father. When they got back down to the basement, Henry opened his castle book. "Let's make this one," he said. Henry's father took a look. Henry's mother took a look. "Okay," they said. One of them drew, one of them cut, and one of them stapled. Wow, look at that. That's turning into quite the castle. And one of them went looking for an old boot he used to chew. They all worked a long time until somebody said, "Is anyone hungry?" "Order a pizza," said Henry's father. "We can't stop now." They worked a while longer until the pizza came. There's the boot. Then they stopped and ate pizza while they stared at the castle they were building. They each imagined how it would look when it was done. Okay, well, there's Henry's idea of how it's going to look. And there's Mudge's idea of how it's going to look. Oh, and there's Dad's idea. Pretty simple. Oh, Mother's idea. It's gorgeous. And it's even got a swan in the lake. Wow. For the rest of the afternoon, they cut out fancy windows and fancy doors, and they cut out turrets and buttresses and flags, and Mudge chewed his old boot like crazy. When evening came and Henry finally had to crawl into bed, he could hardly wait to finish the castle. He could hardly wait for more of the long weekend. Oh. Everybody's eating breakfast. Does breakfast look so boring like it was yesterday? No. A great weekend. Henry woke up. He looked outside. Excuse me, boys and girls. "What? Yuck," he said. But he didn't care. "We have to finish our castle," he told Mudge. Henry and Henry's father ate some cold cereal and ran to the basement. Mom's having her coffee. Just like Miss Baxter in the morning. Henry's mother stayed in the kitchen to read the morning paper. She was always better at thinking up ideas than at finishing them. "Besides," she said, "you have to have somebody to surprise." And that just tells me Mom, she quit. She didn't want to make it anymore. Henry and Henry's father painted the castle all morning. How did all that paint get on, Mudge? While they worked, Mudge sniffed. Screwdrivers and paint cans and dirty rags and beach balls and Christmas decorations and a stuffed turkey. All that stuff in the garage. He also tried to eat a spider, but he missed. Henry father were very quiet. They wanted to pay attention. They wanted to do a good job. Every now and then Henry's mother would call out, "Is there life down there?" Finally, close to lunchtime, Henry looked at his father. His father looked at him. "Wow," they both said. Come look," they called up the stairs. Henry's mother went to the top of the stairs. Not yet, they called. She waited. Okay, they called. She went down the stairs, and there she saw the most beautiful castle and the most beautiful knights and the most beautiful king she had ever seen. Oh, wow! Check that out, boys and girls. Look what they made from some cardboard boxes. They all spent a long time admiring the castle. They took turns sitting in it. They stuck their heads through its windows. They opened and closed its doors. And they lowered its drawbridge over and over. Wow, that's great. That's awesome imagination. Henry was thrilled. He gave his parents a big hug. He gave Mudge a big hug. "What a weekend," said Henry. The king gave him a big lick. And what a great king. Oh, the end. That's a great book. Okay, guys, remember, these are some AR books. Miss Donato has a whole section over there in the corner area. So, check them out. All right, see you later. Bye-bye.